All right, everyone. We're about to go live. Let me get my script. All right, here we go. All right. It's not going to be too painful, nice and easy, but I got a little bonus for you guys. But anyway, hello everyone. Brother Hashar Namar. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashak Yahushai and double honors to the elders of HOI, Elder Zabak, Elder Terah, Elder Sabal, to Deacon Shawapar and the Captain Ariala, and to all the senior men and the men who was putting in this work, as well as the sisters. I like to say Shalom, Shamar, and Shalom. All right. So
Shalom.
Shalom. So I had got a little video for you. I went on YouTube and I seen Elder Zabak was on there. He just posted something like 11 minutes ago. And I watched like maybe about 20 minutes of it. So I'm gonna play the first 4 minutes of it. You know, our elders out here, they putting in this work. And Elder Sarai, he has his podcast. And so, you know, everybody's putting in his work, you know, to uh, try to wake up these remaining Israelites that's, you know, kind of asleep and clicking on YouTube and all this other junk. All right, so let me play this video. All right. So you guys want to watch the remaining video? It's his YouTube is Zabak 12. Zabak 12. You can subscribe. Z as in zebra, ABACH 12. Zabak 12. Okay. That's our elder, one of our elders of HOI. All right. So let me go ahead and share this real quick. Um, Start it off with this real quick. And moving forward, you know, on Iron Shopping Iron, I'll be just playing different videos of different brothers and stuff like that, you know, because we're all regurgitating pretty much the same thing. Okay. But sometimes, you know, other people you can hear what they say than what I can. That's just, you know, nature of the beast. Here we go.
Y'all, so we coming to y'all with a little impromptu live. Just to let you brothers and sisters know, a lot is going on in the world. A few current events of what's happening in the world. Like I said, this is it's an impromptu video. All right, out here in these New York City streets. But it's important for us to keep up with what's going on, you know, in this world as far as prophecy and destruction and the things that the Most High is bringing to pass in these last days. You know, to show according to prophecy that we are living in the last days. You know, just came from the 4th of July rebuke. And as we're down there in Washington, D.C., at the 4th of July rebuke, the Most High is bringing hell on Texas by way of floods. The floods actually started on the 4th of July, I believe, that morning. Right? So as we bringing it to the White House, to the devil himself, and showing him that his kingdom is being is going to be destroyed, the Most High actually bringing forth destruction as we're out there prophesying his word. So I want to come and speak on this a little bit earlier, but the Most High definitely brought judgment, the spirit of judgment, during that 4th of July rebuke on the White House. So let's start off with Isaiah 55 and 11. Isaiah chapter 55 and 11. We're going to start with that. Because a lot of y'all say the Bible is man-made, the Bible is man's book. Why you believe something written by men? When, like we always say, every book you've ever read in your life was written by some man, right? But when it comes to the Bible, you got to make that statement. No, we're letting you know that the Bible is coming to life. The things written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right? The Lord said in Isaiah 42 and 9, the former things have he shown us, I'm paraphrasing, and new things before they even happen, I declare them unto you. Now, how's that going to happen? He has to use somebody to tell you that it's going to happen before it happens so you can believe what his word says. Right? So that's what the spirit of prophecy is all about in these last days. and the Most High's word is going to make good. When we bring it out, it's going to come to life. The words are going to come to actual life because it's prophetic. Read Isaiah 55 and 11.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word go forth out my mouth. It shall not return unto me void.
What the Lord say?
It shall not it shall not return to me slaughter. It shall not return unto me void.
The Lord said his word is not going to return unto him void. Good.
But it shall accomplish that which I plead.
It shall accomplish that which the Lord pleased. Good.
And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
The Lord said it shall prosper in the thing whereto he sent it. So we prophesy about floods, destruction, any form of destruction. And we're out there prophesying at the White House on your so-called Independence Day. The Most High said, look, it's in Washington, D.C., but I could bring the destruction in racist ass Texas, right? And we know the history of the state of Texas. Let's not even, we don't have to go into that. All the rape, robbery, and murder, the slaughtering of the Native American Indians, and the different things you've done to our people down in Texas, right? Your death penalty, your executions, a lot of times of innocent so-called Black, Latino, and Native American men. So we know that Texas, like all of America, is due for a judgment from the Most High. So while we flooded the streets of Washington, D.C. with the word of the Lord, he flooded you out in Texas.
Right.
All praise to the Most High of Mashiach Yahushua. Right?
John, so I wanted to start that because I was looking through YouTube and it just came up and I was like, oh, let me show this real quick. Because the reason why I'm showing this is because before we get into the topic, there's a lot of stuff going on in Texas. I used to live in Texas. I was stationed down there in Jasper, Texas. I actually drove through the town. It's where they dragged that black man with the truck back in the 90s. I got the Ford Hood in 1997. I think that happened in like 96 or something like that, 95. You guys can Google it. Black man being drugged with a truck or dragged with the truck in Texas. And I drove through the town. It's a little town. I don't even think it had a traffic light. But we was on the bus. We was going to Fort Polk, Louisiana. And all the white boys was on there. Oh, man. Private Thompson, man, we got to hide you, bro. Like, Army's stupid. They joke all the time about that racism stuff. But it was a weird looking town. But Texas is getting this judgment, you know. You got that Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but that young man who was being lied on and stuff like that. This is not tonight's topic, but just, you know, the elder came up and I figured it was perfect for what we're going to talk about. Hebrew-Lites and Christian-Lites and stuff like that. But Carmelo Anthony, he's going through some stuff. A lot of people think he brought a knife to school, like I did. I thought he brought a knife to school and he had it in his book bag, but apparently none of that happened. We really don't know what happened, but they know what happened. And they're trying to make it something out of racism. Come to find out, the two white boys, they was raised by their mama. And their mama and dad left them. And the white boy that got stabbed, he beat his dad up. And he left. He's like, man, I ain't messing with them kids. So he's like like I said, you know, the curses go to the white man as well. You know, it's on us, but now it's on them. So she got a baby daddy, and basically she got some bad kids. And apparently, according to certain sources, he was abusive. And then the white boy, you know, they were big, you know, Esau was big, and basically they were just bullies. And they beat the dad up, he left. Then they tried to step to the young black man who's like an honor student, GPA like a 4.0, never got no trouble. He feared for his life, and he stabbed one of them, and he happened to die. Then all of a sudden they get all these floods, and they try to make it a racial issue. So brothers and sisters, keep up with the case. You know, I think the dude's going to get off because there's a video footage of what exactly happened, and they're not trying to show that. So we just got to go ahead and, you know, pray for the young brother. This dude is very, very intelligent. He's part of like a whole bunch of, you know, he plays sports and stuff like that. But I know his GPA, he's like a 4.0 or something like that. You know, if you talking about somebody that's a four.
You hear me out?
What'd you say, Elder?
He get off. it definitely crack is going. They already talking about a race war.
Con.
Like, that's going to be big. And if you don't get on, but you bringing light to the subject, man. Real quick, Deuteronomy 7:15 tells you like the Lord should put sickness and all type of stuff on them. Mental sickness, speaking up your father, man. Like he's gonna put all the curses on them. That's heavy right there. And now they're suffering. They're suffering. You know what I mean?
Con.
Remember the scriptures tell you it's Iraq, and he should cause a household to be filled with iniquity. It's Iraq 23. It tells you that. So that's deep, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Con. Yeah, like the elder said, the scriptures say it, and thou sayest, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get they're definitely gonna get what's theirs. And they're really trying to make this out of racism. It's not a no-brainer. This might be the one that causes race war. You know what I'm saying? Jake, he out here practicing. Jake killing Jake. So they out here practicing. So, maybe that's what that was for, to get rid of some of the 2/3. Jake is out of control, but let the social media say it. We just out here killing each other. All the sisters is fighting and coloring their hair red and stuff like that. And it is what it is. But I just wanted to show that, let you guys know that prophecy is coming in effect. Prophecy, what they call eschatology and stuff, it is a real thing. It's been proven. So some of the videos I'm going to show you, some of you might get mad, like, oh my God. But the subject tonight, all right? So Israel, we have another electrifying topic tonight. But wait, I got another clip. All right. And then we're going to go into the topic. All right. Now, I'm only going to play like 2 minutes of this clip. And we all know this dude is vocab. But the reason why I'm playing this clip is because you need to understand what it is that they're doing. And I'll explain it here in a second. So let me go ahead and post this thing. Or share my screen, Shalaki. There we go.
I'm here with Vocab Malone. We're going to talk about Hebrew Israelites, something that I don't know anything about. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But thanks for coming on Capturing Christianity. Hey, take about like 50, 60 seconds and just tell our audience a little about you, what you do. You're a big guy on YouTube, so just tell them what you do.
Born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. Been in Phoenix, Arizona for a little while. And I do urban apologetics. It's kind of a specialty area I'm in.
Yeah, so tell me about like what is urban apologetics? How would you define that?
It's culturally contextual.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
So people influenced by sort of the core of the city, which is more and more people nowadays. It can mean different ethnicities. It can mean different groups of people. The key, though, is sort of the issues that arise in the city. So like it's culturally context. I do urban apologetics. It's kind of a specialty area I'm in.
Yeah, so tell me about like
guys heard that, right? Urban apologetics.
Like what is urban apologetics? How would you define that?
It's culturally contextual. So people influenced by sort of the core of the city, which is more and more people nowadays. It can mean different ethnicities. It can mean different groups of people. The key, though, is sort of the issues that arise in the city. So like in New York City, there's religious movements that start that sometimes are peculiar to New York, but they often spread out to the Eastern Corridor and eventually the rest of the country and sometimes the world, such as the group we're talking about. It literally did that. Started in Harlem, was Northeast for a while, Midwest. Now it's overtaking the Bible Belt. And then, of course, you mentioned social media stuff. So my main platform is YouTube. And I
do a lot of stuff with David Wood.
Do a lot of stuff with David Wood on Acts 17 Apologetics. We do satire. That's not the only thing we do, but that's what people remember a lot. And then on my channel, I do a lot of live streams. So I try to really interact with the audience. I do abnormal things like freestyle in the middle of a show to kind of break up the monotony, stuff like that.
You've done some debates too.
All right. So we all know Vocab Malone. All right. So this guy, he's up there talking about, apologetics and all this other stuff, right? So I played this video, right? Because you got Vocab, you got Pastor Pork Chop, you got Certain Israel, you got higher people with influences, and that they're out here creating crystal lights. And some of our brothers and sisters and kids are fighting it, because they're Hebrew Israelites and they're studying and they're learning, but all of a sudden you got these Christian lights, So let's tackle something real fast. Let's go into this urban apologetics real quick. Give me a second, Shalaki. All right. So a Christian apologist, okay? It's someone who provides a reasoned defense of Christianity. Now I'm going to say it again. It's someone who provides a reasoned defense of Christianity, or as we say, Christianity, addressing objections and explaining its truth claims. This involves engaging with questions and criticism. So basically, if you a man of thinking, a man who has a clear mind, the word that props up, I'm going to just read it. I'm not going to tell you what the word is. I'm going to give you some definitions. First definition, a congregation of Roman curia having jurisdiction over missionary territories and related institutions. Definition 2, the spreading of ideas, information, or rumor for purpose of helping or injuring an institution. I'm going to read that again. The spreading of ideas, not facts, ideas. Information or rumor for purpose of helping or injuring an institution, a cause, or a person. This word is called propaganda. Okay? Ideas, facts, or allegations spreading deliberately to further one's cause or to damage an opposing cause. So, again, are Hebrew Israelites and Christian lights at war? Yes. It's like this, another example. If you're an Israelite and you just got off punishment, for instance, and your parents corrected you righteously, right, to follow the Sabbath. You come outside and your friends was wondering what happened to you. Now, this is your friends. Now, this could be your family. This could be your wife. I'm just using an example of your parents, right? Basically, you've gotten punished. And I'm just using parents just for an example, but the Most High will chastise you. Okay, it says that in Hebrew. So He will punish you. Okay, for your negligence. Okay, for your misdoings, for your sins. All right. So again, you come outside, and again, your friends, family, whoever it is. All right. And again, knowing you're an Israelite from the start. So they knew you was an Israelite from the start, but somehow they coerced you, right, to break the Sabbath. So what are you supposed to do with a friend? All right, because a lot of times these Christian lights are your friends, they're family, right? But we're going to definitely stay with friends because some of us, especially if you're born in the 70s and in the 80s, we had friends at 6, 7 years old. Some of our parents were on crack and we used to go eat with our friends till we graduated high school. Some of us left our homes, like Dwayne Wade, he left his house and he moved in with a girl that he had a crush on. I just used him because a lot of people know Dwayne Wade. So we know how it was, okay? 90s and below. Some of the 90s kids got it, but definitely 90s and below. It was crazy. Like I said before, they had the news would prompt in the 80s. Do you know where your kid's at? Why did they do that? Because they knew as a society what they were doing to the men or to the to the parents. Okay. So again, Your friends knowing you're an Israelite from the start. What are you supposed to do? So let me get Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verses 7 through 8. Or Salakia, verses 7 through 9. Baba Kusha.
You said Sirach chapter 8?
Chapter 6.
Con. This is the book of Sirach chapter 6, verse 7 through 8. When you got it, say con.
Good. Good.
Con, if thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Shalakia. Khan. So everyone needs to do that. Ladies, you need to do that when you date. Prove him first. Okay, I understand it says friend, but you know, the days, you know, your father and your mother are not choosing your husband. Okay, ladies? And men, listen to your uncles. All right. Listen to your mama. Okay. Listen to your aunties. You have to prove this young lady. Yeah, she's fine. She smells good. She's whatever. Okay. Somebody say something? Okay. So again, if thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him. Okay. I've done this. I was under 18. By the time I was 18, man, it was hard for me to trust anybody. Okay. I had to vet you. So again, Shalaka, go ahead, King.
Verse 8, for some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Shalakia. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. Any of the kids listening to this, if you don't understand this, ask your mama, ask your father, ask your auntie, ask your guardian. But I'll break it down the best way I can for you. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. That means he's only there for himself. That is a selfish person. Okay. That's the guy or the girl that's telling you, yo, the teacher ain't looking. Go ahead, I got your back. And you like, well, why don't you do it? Okay. That's the best example I can give you, young folks. Okay. So again, for some man, and it don't mean just a man, it mean a woman too. Okay. So for some man or woman is a friend for his own occasion. That means he's only there for let me see, how can I put it? He's only there for purposes of wickedness. He's only there to please himself, and vice versa, or you know, if it's a female, okay, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. They will set you up for failure. All right. This is why that whole snitch culture, snitching is something that criminals do. Please do not get that mixed up. You are not a snitch if you, what they call you, if you are a civilian. You're not in a gang. You're not a snitch. But you gotta use wisdom as well. So I'm gonna say, you gotta use wisdom. Okay. So for some man is a friend for his own occasion. That means that person does not, those people do not care for you. Salakia, go ahead, King. And you can read the next verse, verse 9.
Oh, con, my bad. I didn't know you. I didn't even know you was talking to me.
You good, King, you good.
Con. And there is a friend who, being turned into enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach.
Okay. So enmity, okay, enmity is the state of feeling, Salakia, the state or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile. You know what I'm saying? So, and there is a friend who being turned enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. All right. He's not there. That's that guy that's trying to set you up. You know, I remember I was a young bull and this guy, I forget his name. I don't know, he might, I ain't gonna say his name, but uh his name was we say Pete. Pete was trying to get me and my friend to sell drugs, right? And like he don't know what type of family I come from, right? So I had moved from Philadelphia to the suburbs when I was 12, right? And this dude tried to get us to sell drugs. And I'm like, what? We used to I didn't even know this dude like that. We used to see him and stuff, but he was hanging, he's like, yo, man, I need y'all to make this run. And I was like, what? I was like, man, get out. Ain't nobody making no run for you. What you need, man? You know, he was like, nah, man, I need you to, you know. So I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Are you crazy? And he's looking around like there's cops outside. I'll never forget this. I was like 14. And I told my friend, I was like, bro, don't do it. He was like, nah, man, you know, I need money. I'm corny. I was like, bro, listen to me, man. Don't do it, man. Listen to me. He's setting you up. And he was like, yeah, you right. All of them went to jail. All right. He just stopped going to jail, maybe like 15 years ago. You know, that dude, he was working for the cops because he kept talking to us and he kept looking around. I'm like, why is he looking around? What's his problem? I'm like, what you looking at? And I told my friend, I was like, bro, this dude seems crooked, man. He might be working with them. He's like, nah, man, he cool. Now, mind you, I'm new to the block. I only been there like a year or two. You know, I didn't really know the dude. He was an old head. But, you know, he got him the cell and he been in jail ever since he was 15. And the brother just stopped. He became Islam, and he's doing good right now. But anyway, yeah, he been in jail for at least the past 15, 20 years, you know. So he missed all his 20s and half of his 30s. And he's been a free man probably about 10, 12 years. So my point is, you know, is there a friend who's being turned to him? There's people out there that's always trying to hurt you, you know. And so what this class is about, it's about Hebrew Israelites and Christian lights. Some of your families are Christian. Just do you. It's the same thing when you're playing sports. We make fun of these sports stars, right? But that's all these dudes know. You know, all they know is football. All they know is basketball. All they know is baseball. So they don't really understand what's going on. And this is why you have certain women going after them and all this other stuff, right? It's the same thing with us, right? So a lot of us been in the world and then we became Hebrew Israelites. But then you got people like Vocab, Pastor Pork Chop, certain Israel, higher people. They will influence you to this Christian light. All right. So again, why did I choose these scriptures? Because some of you are literally being bullied. All right, some of us are being bullied by our friends, associates, the internet, and sometimes your kids. Teenagers are something else. Now, many of y'all got teenagers. You know what I'm saying? That's all praises right there. Teenagers, whoo, my God. And my daughter's 12. She's about to turn 13. It's like my fifth teenager, man. The teenagers, they just don't change, you know. So the internet, sometimes your kids, and like I said again, you know, those teens. So some of y'all take off your fringes because you want to show good faith. You don't want to you don't want to run into your grandma's house with your fringes on, everybody frowning up at you and stuff like that. Then you untuck them and you fall down the steps and break your nose. Why you think you fell? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Listen, we gotta come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You cannot be a Christian like you either in this or you're not. It's too easy. You either in this or you're not. It's just like it's a righteous game. Okay, because I remember I was in the army, they used to tell me this, they used to tell me I'm in the world biggest gang, right? Like whatever. But it's a righteous gang. We are Hebrew Israelites from the various 12 tribes. That's it. They hate it. So again, um, so some of y'all, like I said again, take your fringes off. You want to show good faith. You want to be a mediator. You can't be a mediator in this. There's one mediator. That's your Hashar. Okay. So like Rodney King said, can we all get along? Hell no. Nah. We all can't get along. Okay. So Rodney King, for you young folk, he was a guy from the 90s who was drunk and he had like 3 friends in his car. They just watched him get beat up by the cops. Some guy videotaped it. And the guy that videotaped, the got locked up too. And Rodney King mysteriously died like 7 years ago in his pool. He drowned in a pool he'd been swimming in for like 20 years. Yeah, imagine that. So again, I just want Israel to listen. The time is coming, as my old friend used to say. He used to say, we're going to barbecue or mildew. All right. He used to say that all that. That's country, right? He used to say, we're going to barbecue or mildew. All right. Now, that's the countryest stuff I ever heard. But it means, are we gonna party? Are we gonna party for the Most High as far as these feast days? Keeping the Sabbath, keeping the new moon. Why do you think our mom and dad used to party on the weekends? They didn't know what they was doing, but they was celebrating the new moon. They didn't even know it. They was celebrating the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't even know it. That's because that's what their old spirits used to do. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new under the sun. All right. So basically, we either going to party with these laws, statutes, and commandments, or we're going to stay stagnant. And you're going to be a party pooper, then you're going to be one of those people that drowned in Texas. I'm sure there may have been some Israelites that got, judged, but man, these hurricanes, these tornadoes, yeah, they for them. So again, are Israelites at war with Christian lights? Yes. Okay. We are at war. But here's the thing. We are going to win because of prophecy, or what they like to call eschatology. Okay. So I got another video for y'all. I got 3 videos for y'all. And this is about this guy. This guy I can't really stand, but some of you may have seen this guy before. He's a Christian and he always talking about like he know us. He's like a spokesman. So again, this class is basically if you're treading the wall, if you're treading the line and stuff like that, don't worry about it. Just put your Zeeks on, put your fringes on, and do what you're supposed to do. The Most High will look after you. If you don't know when you're gonna get your next sandwich, if you don't know when you're gonna get your next drink, you gotta stop, doing what you do. You got Israelites out here that say we can smoke weed. I've looked up the doctrine, I've seen it. You know, you got Israelites that well, not just weed, that you can smoke, okay? But we know smoking is not healthy for you. So you have to use good judgment, Israel. Is smoking healthy? Should you have something in your lungs? Why do you cough when you get smoke in your lungs? Why do people die of inhalation before the fire even get to their room? If you can have smoke in your lungs. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Please don't call me and put me on and DM me about this weed and all this other stuff. That's your walk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a walk. We do have different things, but at the end of the day, following these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your understanding. If you understand that, that's always been a debate. But again, there's Hebrew Israelites and there's Christian lights. Remember, Christianity was people who wasn't even from our nation, and they just couldn't do what we do. And they just keep softening it up like Presbyterian, Methodist, Baptist. We did a class on that, Israel. Okay. So basically, it's like you're trying to tell somebody that well, listen, every time somebody see you, you change the rules because it's beneficial to you. All right, I don't want to take too long, but this is something that we have to beat. Is Brother Hashar perfect? I'm striving to be perfect. Okay. Don't worry about what's on me. The Most High is going to judge me. You know what I'm saying? You can judge me if you see me doing something, but if you don't see me doing nothing, you can't be like, oh, brother, you crazy, brother. You look like you used to smoke Black and Miles. Your lips is black. I don't think they're black, but I'm just saying. I don't know, but everybody has their everybody has their what's that I'm looking for? Everybody has their thing that's haunting them. Everybody has a flaw, but you have to go, like I say, go to therapy garden, go running, you know, plant stuff, get a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to help release or relieve stress and stuff like that. The Most High angels are watching us. So you either a Hebrew Israelite or you're a Christian like. And like the elder said, these race wars are coming. I served with white people. A couple white guys saved my life in the army. At the end of the day, it's the Most High, but he put that on them to save my life. Do you think I give a damn if we in the race war that they saved my life and it's me versus my people? I understand where I stand at. And the funny thing about Esau, he understands where he stands. Okay. Bless and believe. It might be one or two, but best and believe they know where they stand. So again, we're not trying to scare you guys, but what we're trying to say is, you know, if you following these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability and not taking off your fringes to go in the strip club and not tucking in your fringes when you go into these barbecue places to get some beef and pork brisket. I think they sell pork brisket, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? We love you guys and we want you guys to come home. So if you're on the fence, just climb over that, John. Just climb over it and come to the Hebrew Israelite side. We're gonna get you straight. We're gonna get you straight. All right. So again, one more time. Are Hebrew Israelites and Christian lights at war? Yes, we are, and we are winning. As you seen, Elder Zabak was talking about the floods. Elder Terah posted a live video about the floods and about the sundown towns and stuff like that. There's sundown towns in your state, guys. If you don't know what that is, you can't go in that town after sundown or something crazy will happen to you. And they'll find you in a box somewhere or somewhere in a safe tied up or something like that. They just released Nat Turner's skull after they made a movie about the brother. He died in what year he died? 18 is it 56? Hold on. He died in like the mid 1800s. Okay? And they just got his skeleton back because the one brother made a movie about it. Hold on, let me see. This brother died November 11th, which is Veterans Day. Imagine that. He died November 11th, 1831. All right. So 1931 is 100 years. 2031 is 200 years. So they gave him his skull back like, what was it, like 10 years ago? So he was dead. What's that? What's my math? He was dead like 100 and like 60 some years. And they finally returned his skull to his family. That is sad. Google it. Okay. It was called Birth of a Nation. The brother made the movie. I forget his name, and they brought out that he was wrestling and he had a rape charge. Ruined his career. He ain't been in no other movie since he brought out Birth of a Nation. Okay. So when he brought that movie out, they was PO'd and they ruined his career. So he's no longer in Hollywood. But you know, he's making B movies. He probably should go to Tubi. But Nat Turner died in 1831. They took his skin, okay? They ate him. They used his arm as a lamp and his skin as lampshade. Like come on, man. And then this mayor in Tennessee, I believe, had his skull. What kind of this is the people we're dealing with, people. This is the people you sit with on the bus. This is the people you go to when you go into these Catholic churches. Okay. All right. So I don't want to get off the subject, but please, if you're going to be a Christian, go ahead and be a Christian. We don't need you. You know what I'm saying? But what we need is we need kings. We need princesses. We need princes. Okay. We need people who want to stand tall with us. Okay. So again, either barbecue or mildew. You know what I mean? So, you know, Hebrew Israelites, we are at war with these Christian lights. And like Vocab said, oh, I'm a Christian apologist. All it is propaganda, okay? So you can listen to Vocab, you can listen to all these different people. And this one guy, I can't stand his brother. You'll see him. I'm about to play him, but this dude is something else. You know, he should have. Nah, I can't say what I'm gonna say. All right, so let me play what I'm gonna play. All right. As soon as I play him, everybody gonna like, oh, this dude right here. But you know, he says some stuff and he talks to you know, the other nations about who we are and stuff like that. And he is very annoying, but these are the people you're gonna come across. You're gonna come across your Dr. Umar's. I'm not dissing Dr. Umar, but I'm saying is you're gonna come across intellectual brothers. You're gonna come across a lot of smart sisters, okay? But you have to understand that some of them are indoctrinated and some of them are there for propaganda. They go and they go get their checks. Okay. Trust me. All right. So let's play this next video.
A Hebrew Israelite will translate the word Egypt as bondage. They won't say this refers to the actual place of Egypt on the map. They'll say it really represents bondage. So let's read it from their perspective. A Hebrew Israelite will translate the word Egypt as bondage. They won't say this refers to the actual place of Egypt.
Y'all hear this? I didn't know anyone play this. I'm sorry. This guy, he annoys me. This guy. But he's saying that we translated as the house of bondage. I'm gonna play it one more time.
A Hebrew Israelite will translate the word Egypt as bondage. They won't say this refers to the actual place of Egypt on the map. They'll say it really represents bondage. So let's read it from their perspective. The Lord shall bring African people into bondage to America with ships. That's how we got there. The Hebrew Israelites. Now, you may have heard of them as the Black Hebrew Israelites, but just so you know that that's the derogatory term. They don't associate with the Black Hebrew. It's Hebrew Israelites because they don't believe that it has to do with their ethnicity or the color of their skin or anything like that. So,
all right. So this guy. All right. So he annoys me. I'm sorry. Yeah, he annoys me. But the thing about this young man, he says stuff and he don't know what he's talking about. You know, he's saying that yes, we don't want to be called black. Yes, we don't want to be called black, but yet he's saying he's making it sound like we're stupid. Like, bro, what are you talking about? We don't, there's nothing black. We're brown. Then he's trying to say, well, they don't believe in their ethnicity. All right. So let's get the definition of ethnicity, okay? Because this guy is something else. Yes, we believe in that. All right. So let me get this real quick. Salakia. Oh, I'm sorry. Right there.
I see
Okay.
what you're saying. He's trying to make it seem like the word black is our ethnicity. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He's trying to say, like, you know, we don't subscribe to that. And it's like, okay, yeah. All right. So the ethnicity, all right, the quality or fact of belonging to a population group or subgroup made up of people who share a common cultural background or descent. He's saying that we're all into our feelings and that you know, basically, you know, we don't subscribe to Black Hebrew Israelite. No, it's disrespectful. However, correction, it's not disrespectful. We don't subscribe to the white man understanding of race. Okay. So the ethnicity, yes, we subscribe to that. We are Hebrews, okay? All right. We are Israelites. That's the ethnicity, okay? That is belonging to a popular group. Okay. So that's why I wanted to hold on. Give me a second. Let me bring up Clubhouse. All right, I'm back. Salakia. But I just wanted to correct him on that. Okay. Now he's gonna go over these four things. I'm gonna play this and then we're gonna, you know, get back into it. All right, Salakia.
I'm gonna try my best to kind of shorten this one because there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about as it relates to this. And the first thing, guys, that I'm going to say about the Hebrew Israelites is that they're not monolithic. All right, they're not monolithic, which basically means that with each group that you meet, there's variances. There's all sorts of different.
All right, so we're going to get into I'm not gonna. I'll bring some scriptures in. Okay, I know some of y'all are heated right now about this dude. So Shalakia. So we're gonna get into the monolithic. Shalakia.
It seems like the way he talking is like he don't even understand his own religion, but like, cause how many different denominations of Christianity is it? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, yeah, we're gonna get. I know it's burning a little bit. He's
God,
I know it's irritating. I don't even want to play it, but I got to play it because we're going to come across men and women alike like this, and some kids. Um, okay, so monolithic. It's a form of a single large block of stone. It's basically a large, powerful, intractably indivisible uniform. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, we as we as Israelites, we've always hold on, trying to minimize this thing. All right. So we as Israelites, let me turn my picture on. We as I'm gonna let them cook. But we as Israelites, there wasn't just 12 disciples, okay? There was at least 70, some say 120. All right. There was different variations. This is why we have different camps. I'll bring the scriptures out here, but I want everybody to get mad at this dude. This dude is, he's something else. But everybody think it was just 12 or 12 disciples. They died and got murdered, and that was it. That was the end of that. No, there were over 70 um, um, disciples, which means what? There were different camps. Okay, this is why HOI, we don't camp bang. All right, because we know there's other brothers out here. Some of them be like, man, but it is what it is. All right, they're going to reach certain people. It's just what it is. You it's like being in school. Okay, it's like when you're in school. Sometimes you can't learn from that teacher. You can learn from the assistant, and sometimes those little nerd kids that be in there. Sometimes you can learn from the nerd kid. Or from the I can't say nerd, from a kid who know how to put things in perspective. Because some classes they have like kids that's doing tutors and stuff like that, right? So basically, each one teach one, right? Sometimes the teacher can't get to everybody in the class, so that's why she has a helper. Then if you can't get the helper, you're gonna be in that class with the helmets on, licking the wall. All right, I'm joking, I'm joking. But if you can't really get it, then you got summer school, you got what is that stuff called? Special ed, you got extracurricular, you got chapter one, they used to call it. I don't know what it's called now. Hold up. What's it called? Uh Man, I can't think of it. But you got all these different things that they can help you learn. Okay. So again, there's different camps because everybody don't think the same. All right. And we were Israelites. Okay. We were conquered by the Greeks. So we were speaking Greek. We was here. We was there. We was everywhere. Right. So different camps, was in different places of the world. You guys understand that this is America. And in America, you can go to Jersey and everybody speak Polish. You're like, where am I? You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that's just the way this country is. And this is the way the white man started that stuff, right? In Greece and Roman, right? They had all these different nationalities. You had different neighborhoods that was just Italian. You got different neighborhoods just Chinese and all this other stuff, right? And if we live there, we're going to speak that. So you had all these different disciples, right? Some of them come from them neighborhoods. You just can't have just 12 dudes running around. All right. But anyway, it's about give it about another 3 minutes, okay?
groups that you're going to meet, camps of people that you're going to meet. And I'm going to give you a few of them here. So just know that when you're talking to somebody who is a Hebrew Israelite, and I'm going to say this later when I talk about the tips on how to really reach them, the first thing that you had better figure out before you make an assumption about what this person's view is or their beliefs is what camp are they coming from and what sect of Hebrew Israelites are they coming from? So let me just give you a few different groups in terms of what they believe about divine authority. All right. Now, this group is really, they're hard to pin down because there's so many different beliefs. But first and foremost, you have the groups that are the Torah only. So you're going to have some groups out there where the only 5 books of the Bible that they believe is divine truth is just the Torah. That's it. First 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch. And the rest of it you can throw out. The rest of it, there's no real value from it. Okay, so you're going to have those people that are in the Hebrew Israelite camp. And then you also have people who are going to subscribe to the whole Bible, but you're also adding on the Apocrypha. So you have the New Testament, the Old Testament, and the Apocrypha. All right. So that's another camp of people. So you already can see why it's important for you, first and foremost, to figure out who am I talking to and which camp are they in? Because if you just assume that, okay, this person only believes in the Torah, you're going to get into some deep waters where they're going to say, no, what are you talking about? You're misrepresenting me. We believe in the whole Bible, right? So you got to make sure you know where you're coming from. And then the third thing is some of them believe in the Bible, right? Now, once again, how they interpret the Bible, as we're going to see in just a moment, is very different oftentimes than how we would interpret it. But some will say, okay, no, we are of the camp where we're Hebrew Christians and we believe in the entire Bible, no Apocrypha, same Bible that you believe. Okay, so that's another camp. And the fourth camp, and this is the one I want to talk about for just a moment, is Old Testament and New Testament, but no Paul. No Paul's letters, right? We don't believe in Paul's letters. And you have to understand the ideology behind this. And we're going to get into this in just a second. But the idea is this. Many Hebrew Israelites in this camp will deny the divine authority of Paul's letters because they believe that white slave owners would utilize certain passages in Paul's letters as, as proof text or establishing the right to enslave or to enslave people, right? To enslave Africans, right?
All right. All right. So we see this guy, right? And go ahead.
Salakia,
Go
I
ahead,
got a
Ken.
question. Is he black? Like, is he Israelite?
I believe he is. Yeah, I've been hearing about him for the past few years, maybe about 5 years. Yeah, he's one of those. He goes. I think he got arrested too a while back, maybe in um I think Florida or something like that. But he's an awake Christian and stuff. And he's like he's not in vocab camp, but he's like a vocab. And he basically go out and he challenges the Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. Basically, he's an informant. He's one of them dudes that's like he was a Christian. So I'm gonna compare it to being a criminal. You know, you're a criminal, you get caught, all of a sudden you take a plea deal, you get to snitch on your brothers. So he's a Christian, and there is a thing against the Hebrew Israelites where everyone is coming against us because at one point it was all over the internet. They had to contact the owners of YouTube to change the algorithm. I deal with IT, and I'm telling you, at one point you couldn't. Like, what is this? So they changed the algorithm and everything. So he's one of those Christian guys who goes around awake, but he's still coming from an apologist, standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Trying to confuse those who are Hebrew Israelites and stuff. If you listen to it too much, you might mess around and just forget who you are, because this dude is he's a charmer. He's one of those dudes who he's a snake, and hopefully the brother wakes up one day. I don't know who his father is. So I don't know his genealogy, nothing like that, but he seems to be a brother. He seems to be a coon. That's what he is. He's a coon. So, but these are the type of brothers you're gonna come against, when you out there in these streets, and some of these sisters are like that, they've been hogwashed with, Hebrew Israelites are abusive, all these, just all these different stupid stereotypes. And if we know anything about the Crusades, the Christians should never talk about murder. Just saying. So yeah, that brother, he's kind of off a little bit. But again, I wanted to bring that video up. And like I say, imagine that. This is why we have Israelites and Christian lights. There's an attack on the Most High's chosen people, like always. Now he says some things about Egypt. He says some things about different camps, and he says about Paul letters. I'm not really going to go into that. I'm going to give some scriptures explaining certain things that he did say. But again, we all know about the Paul letter, right? We all know about the slave Bible, right? We are familiar with the slave Bible. I brought that out in the previous class. There's a such thing as a slave Bible, and they use that scripture about the masters and stuff like that. Slaves should obey their master and stuff like that. So, I mean, everybody know about that scripture. Give me a second. So it's like, give me a second, Shalakia. It's what is that? And then you got Colossians 3:22. You know what I'm saying? So all of those scriptures, those are talking about those type of things, right? It's Paul's letters and stuff like that. But he was writing them to the people of those cities. All right. Like I said, we're not getting into it because Paul's letters is we're going to explain that also. Why is it that Paul's letters? Now, I know the brother Jamaican, a lot of mercy, but why is his book so difficult? Why is this Bible so difficult? And we're gonna answer these questions, okay? So let me get Exodus chapter 13, verse 3, Baba Kusha.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 3. When you have it, say come.
Done.
And it reads, and Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came from Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
Done. So Exodus 13, it says, so he said that Egypt, that Israelites believe is bondage, that we believe it. But the Bible says, and Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt. You came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Now, I ain't a scholar, and I didn't major in English, but that's all the same sentence. You know what I'm saying? And he even put a semicolon after bondage. But we're gonna stay right here. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. We didn't say this, and Moses wasn't, we didn't have Israel. There was children of Israel, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. It's like people always want to they always want to say things and don't really have an understanding of what they're saying, you know? And again, so Moses said unto the people, the children of Israel, okay, remember this day. So There it goes, self-explanatory. We didn't say this. The Israelites did not say this. Moses said it. And he said, out of the house of bondage. He was referencing Egypt. It's where the Israelites were slavery. Why wouldn't he reference that? You know what I'm saying? So it's simply put, and then you can go to the Strong's Bible and click on the word bondage, which means slavery, house where you dwell, and it's going back to Egypt, the land. Okay. I mean, it's self-explanatory. All right. So now let's get into where he was talking about the different camps. Well, the different camps, and then Paul's letters. We'll break that down. Let me get the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 10 through 17.
This is Matthew chapter 13, starting at verse 10. When you have it, say come.
Done.
And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Kind. So we understand parables. It's like it's code. When these rappers, you got Wu-Tang going old school. You got Kendrick Lamar. You got let me see. You got T.I. You got Master P. You got Ice Cube, Ice. You got all these different rappers, right? They all speaking to us, right? It's parables, it's metaphors. Okay. I named all of them because it's a whole different coast and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm from Philly. I love my East Coast, but you got to give everybody a shout out. You know what I'm saying? You got some people that never heard of Nas. Like, what? But anyway, so again, and the disciples came and said unto him, why did I speak in parables and stuff? This is what we do. This is how you know this Bible's made from us. Okay. Salaki, go ahead, King.
He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
Khan, Salakia. To them. So who is he talking about to them? Did he say a nation? Because he's talking to us. And according to the Bible, there's 17 nations. All right. I'm just saying. Certain things are self-explanatory. But you listen to people and they go get stupid. Well, he could have been talking about, them, the whole what's that thing called again? Where you trying to get your name, not Proverbs, but Shalom. Um, when the transgenders be saying them, they, pronouns. My bad. So you know what I'm saying? No, he's not talking about a pronoun. This is back in the day, okay? I'm sure they had them back then, but that's not a pronoun right there. All right, that's not talking about the LGBTQ. I'm telling you, this is what because they got a King James Bible that's they got the rainbow on there. It's the LGBTQ. So every time they say, yeah, yeah, they do. They got a gay Bible. It's crazy. But so every time they say them, they, you know what I'm saying? So he answered and said to them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So to him up here speaking, he doesn't understand that, yes, it's only going to be given to certain ears. Go ahead, King. Verse 12.
Can I ask a question right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
You seen that Bible?
Yeah, I have.
What does it say about this is crazy. What does it say about the flood and about Sodom and Gomorrah?
I man, it was
If I
years
ever seen
ago.
that Bible, I'm going straight there just to see what it say.
What it say about it? Nah,
Yeah.
I put it in Google, I see it. It says Queen James Bible, the gay gospel.
God. Hey, yeah. Oh, remember, whenever you speak, you make sure you say Salakia. Just FYI.
Oh, okay.
Con. Yeah, only just, being courteous and stuff like that. We don't want nobody to feel like they're being stepped on. But anyway, yeah, the Queen's Bible, the Water King, the Water. So yeah, man, that came out like years ago. And they got another Bible out where as though it's supposed to be written in this time. I can't wait to read that. But yeah, go ahead, continue, King. We're on verse 12.
12. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath.
All right.
Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
Salakia. So who is he talking about? Is he talking about us? Is he talking about the Israelites that's not listening? Is he talking about that brother that made that video? No, he's talking about the other nations. And this is the problem, Christian lights. You're not going to get this. This Bible is FUBU, for us, by us. It's not for any other nations. Yes, it's just like they give you a rule book when you go to work. It's for that job. But the Most High gave us a rule book for this earth, okay? And I think with Christianity, it's been around for a while and stuff like that. But even the other people broke off from it. Like you have to look at this, Christian lights. Why is there so many facets of Christianity? It doesn't even make any sense. Then you tell us, oh, well, you guys have different Hebrew Israelites. No, we don't. No, we don't. We have different camps, and most of us believe in the same thing. Now, the other camps that may be Christian lights, I don't know about that. The other camps that just follow the Torah. I mean, then you start talking about the Sadducees and the Zealots and all this other stuff, right? You start getting into, what was going on in the New Testament or the so-called New Testament. That's not even a thing. That'd be another class. Old Testament, New Testament, we didn't subscribe to that. That's something that the white man came up with because he's slow. You know what I'm saying? He had to come up with something. He probably some brother came up with it and they killed him. But we can't, because this dude, he didn't even invent hockey, for crying out loud. Like, man, y'all ain't invent nothing, not even a lawnmower. He ain't invent nothing, not even a gun. Maybe he invented like the doghouse because he a dog, or maybe he invented that mat or something that them dogs lay in, that people put in their houses and stuff. I don't know. Maybe he did that. Who knows? We can give him
I'm,
some.
I'm thinking maybe they definitely invented guns. To be on the realistic side of things.
I mean, it's shaky ground. I mean,
if
they
if
say
I
the
made a
Chinese, they say the Chinese did it, and Chinese is black. Well,
oh
so
yeah,
well, I mean, they're not black, but they're dark skinned people. That's
oh
the
yeah,
a lot. So
gun.
they tried to say the Chinaman invented the gunpowder. Now, what he did was what is it? He no, I can't say what's the word. It's not increased, but he made it better. He modified the weapon, if that makes sense. So the weapons were created by the so-called Asian. I believe it's the Chinese man. If I'm not, I gotta look at my notes. But he didn't invent it. Mm-mm. No, he didn't invent it. He went ahead and just like he didn't invent the car. Everybody think what's his name? Henry Ford invented the car, right? It's a black man invented it, but Henry Ford, he the one came up with the factory to mass produce it. So, the jury's out. You know, we can go on that another day. But this man hasn't invented anything, man. Salakia. Yeah, verse 13, King. Was it verse 13?
Gun. Therefore, no, 14.
Con, you're right, 14.
Con. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, "For by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive."
Salakia. So that's talking about, Isaiah right there. And, again, they're talking about there was, Jesus, who the word they call Jesus Christ, he was the Old Testament. What are they talking about? Everything he quoted was from the so-called Old Testament, right? So what are they talking about? And them fulfill prophecy, Isaiah, and which saith, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see and shall not perceive. I mean, we got to understand something that you know, our king is quoting. Go ahead. Yeah, our king is quoting, the Old Testament, and a lot of the New Testament, authors and stuff like that, they quoted a lot of the Old Testament, but they try to say that the New Testament is no longer in effect, but all the stuff they get is from the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go all into it, but basically, we're just proving that this guy was saying that there was no there was no other camps and stuff, and that Paul's letters was kind of crazy. So the reason why we brought these scriptures out was to let them understand that also with Paul's letters, it's not meant for everybody to understand. And they was able to use some of his letters as, the slave Bible and stuff like that. But just to let you know that this book is encrypted and it's only for us. This is why, hold on, Salaki, let me bring Clubhouse up. This is why only us understand it. Okay, I'm back. All right, go ahead, King. Verse 15.
Verse 15. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
Done. So again, people heart wax grows and their ears are dull of hearing. I mean, that's what we're getting into, right? This is why you have Hebrew and Christian lights. It's not for everybody. It ain't for you. You'll come through the 1/3. The 2/3 is going to help wake up some of the 1/3. All right. It is what it is. Next verse out.
Verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Done.
Verse 17, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
Done. So again, the different camps and everything, they're there for a reason. They're there to wake up certain people, to put that seed, to plant that seed, and this is why we use microphones when we go out there and all this other stuff. So again, you know, we're putting out this word, we're putting in this work, and again, some of us need to understand it's not for everybody. It ain't made for your dad, your mom, your aunt, your favorite uncle, your favorite kid, whatever, right? Just do the best you can. And if they wake up, they wake up. If not, we'll see them again. You know what I'm saying? Most high willing. But you can't fall out because you want to be with them, that's gonna make you a Christian light. Then you're gonna fall into being a Christian again. You may get away from the holidays and stuff, but how you gonna get away from the holidays? And again, the same thing with these relationships. You men out here, you dating these women who are Christians and stuff like that. You need to let them know who you are up front. Don't be up here lying and stuff because Yeah, she looked good and stuff. She smelled good, but again, you know, you don't want to be lying and misleading her. It's almost like dating a girl and you're going through a divorce, and vice versa, ladies. Okay, you know, you let these men know. You know, but most of the time the men will follow. You know, dudes. But you know, for a woman to follow a man today, it's a little bit different. But again, you know, you let these ladies know who you are up front. Um, you know, you guys want to have these multiple wives and all this stuff. You know, get with the elders. And before you even make that decision, you know, get some counseling, but you can't meet the girl and then talk about, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We can have multiple wives and yeah, I'm going out on a date tonight. Come on, guys. You gotta use wisdom. Okay. That's that Christian light stuff. All right. You gotta vet these women. Okay. You gotta let them know who you are and stuff like that. Just don't be throwing that stuff in there because then they're saying, oh, this Hebrew Israelite, it's misogyny. You guys are narcissists and all this other stuff, right? The same thing go for the sisters. You know, you deep into this truth and you know who you are, and you meet that man, you want him to be the head, but you know, you met him standing on the corner with his pants sagging, or you met him in the club, or somebody hooked you up, do whatever. Listen, you got to vet them, let them know who you are and all this other stuff, right? And then, you know, everything works itself out. But we got to stop rushing. Okay. This is not Instagram. This is not, you know, Facebook dating. This is not, what's the other one called? This is not tag. It's not all these different dating sites and stuff. It's not, you know, outside. You know, you can meet somebody in Walmart. You know, again, take your time, get to know them, vet them, marry them, and you know, do your thing. All right. But say what you want up front, and then everything else will be laid, you know, down. Because it seems like a lot of this stuff is going on, and there's truth. There's a lot of people are in these relationships, and then they're falling out, and then that woman's, I ain't a Hebrew Israelite no more, or that man, I'm not doing this no more. I lost my wife because she didn't want to wear a dress. Listen, guys, you see what's going on. We see how ladies dress. They don't even. You gotta work with them, and women, you gotta work with the men. Once you let him take his place, you can take your place, and vice versa. But y'all can't be like this. All right. Get to know each other, do what you need to do. Because this is what they want. This is that Christian light thing. You know, all these camps, they're this and they're that. He basically just tried to humiliate us and trying to say we don't stand strong, even though some of our understanding is different. We don't stand strong. We don't stand strong as a group. We do. When it hits the fan, we did it was one, the young brother from Wi-Fi. I forget his name. He's the leader of Wi-Fi, but he called for a fast, a 2-day fast. It was like 5 years ago, and most of Israel did it. This was a young brother, you know, and we all did that. You know what I'm saying? Even like everybody did it who could do it, you know, and the elders, you know, they signed off on it and everything. Like, yeah, yeah, you know, we're gonna do it fast. And you know, that brother had the spirit, he still had the spirit on him. He's still out there. But again, you know, we have to we it's gonna be a time we come together. But right now, we're fishing. Okay. And that's let me get real quick, Shalakia. Let me get I don't think I ought to do that one. Oh yeah. All right. Well, let me play this last video real quick. It's only like 25 seconds. And it's going to talk about what I'm about to bring out. Salakia. And that's it, Israel. You guys can go ahead and get up out of here. All right. Here we go. All right, here we go.
When we think of Jesus' disciples, we think of the 12, right? But there were more. Those were just his core group. The Lord now chose 72 other disciples and sent them ahead in pairs to all the towns and places he planned to visit. So Jesus went out in his ministry, and he's teaching and he's preaching, and he's doing miracles. When we think of Jesus' disciples, we think of the 12, right? But
All right, that's all I could take. But she went ahead and did her thing, and she said what needed to be said. All right. So again, what they say in that little commercial, even a caveman knows, even a cave woman knows that he had more than you know, 12 disciples. Like, come on. Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 1 through 5. Barbecue shot.
Say it one more time.
Let me get the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 1 through 5.
Is Luke 10 starting from the top when you got to say "Con"?
Gun.
Con, all praise. After these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, and sent them two by two before his face into every city and place whither he himself would come. Therefore he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. Go your ways, behold, I send you forth as lambs. Carry neither purse nor scrip nor shoes, and salute no man by the way. And into whatsoever house ye enter, first say, Peace be to this house.
Gun. So,
Come.
Done. So, with that last video, they didn't have nothing on that. Like she was the only one I could find. You know what I'm saying? You got to be visual sometimes with Israel. So as he read, Book of Luke, chapter 10. After these things, the Lord appointed other 70. Okay. So again, we're going to go out there, harvest, be laborers. Okay. So we're going to have different camps. All right. It's going to be different camps out there. It has to be because not everybody here the same. If I'm Issachar, so-called Mexican, and I see all these brothers out here, you gotta understand something. I lived in California. They're a little bit different out there in California, Issachar, you know, than Texas and then certain areas and stuff. They don't really rock with you like that. Things are starting to change a little bit, but they don't really rock with you like that. I just left California. Um, I ain't get too many dirty looks, but man, I tell you, I've been going to California since 1994. You know what I'm saying? For like the first 6 years, I'm fighting Issachar. I'm like, dude, what are you fighting me for, bro? I don't even know you. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's that culture out there. It's starting to change a little bit, but I think they just had a brown and black fight. But then since this ICE thing, they kind of upset that we're not helping them and all this other stuff. So again, you know, um, with the cave woman brought out was what we're bringing out. Yes, there was way more than just the 12 disciples. Okay, so you got to look in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 1, and there's other scriptures we can go into about them going out there, about some of the other disciples. Like, man, what they talking about? So again, um, Hebrew Israelites and Christian lights. Okay. You have your Hebrew Israelites and then you have your Christian lights, you know. So with that being said, we just want if that's your understanding, but you gotta look at the scriptures, you gotta go into the different languages, and you gotta get understanding. And if you can, like it said, back in what was that, Matthew? If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. If you can't hear, you can't hear it, you know, and we can't force you to hear it. We can't force you to be awake. So you can't be mad at us. But if it's something gravitating you to it, that means the Most High got something for you. So just stick around. Some of y'all go to church every Sunday and you don't even listen to the pastor. You just go there because of your wife or your girlfriend, or because you think this is the right thing to do, and then you go out doing what you do. You know, some of you go to church faithfully every Sunday. You go to Waffle House after the club, and then you go to church at 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock. Okay. So again, we as Hebrew Israelites, we love all of y'all that's not practicing the righteous ways. We ask y'all to come home and we teach you and we show you. And if you can't grasp it, and whatever the case may be, well, then it's called, just like school. Some of us learn English first, some of us learn math first, some of us get English last. Some of us understand, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. Not everybody's going to get it at first. And then after a while, you have an understanding. And then you go out there and, you know, you wait to get on the line. And then the brothers eventually get on the line. You start reading or you start gardening. And then you start, going out there, preaching and stuff like that. So again, we love you, Israel. Hopefully everybody liked the class. Hopefully you got some gems from it. It's kind of long, but I didn't want to make it too long. Just wanted to make it an hour. So the class was Hebrew Israelites and Christian lights at war. And the answer is yes. That we trying to bring our brothers and sisters home. It's about to be a race war, maybe. That whole thing that's happening in Texas with Carmelo Anthony. They ain't mad about that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on. Trump, this, that, Diddy. There's so much stuff going on, okay? So again, I'm gonna yield and let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 13 through 14. Baba Kusha.
This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. When you have it, say come.
Done.
All praise it. A classic. Well, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. For for Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Good. That's 13, 14?
Oh, come 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
God. And remember, Israel, secret thing. That means he sees everything. Yes, we're not perfect. Some of us have vices that we just can't get rid of right now. You know, but you got to contact the senior men, you got to contact, the elders, and that's what they're there for. This is why the Most High appointed these men, okay, to help you come through your pain and your misery. Just like some of us don't like to use therapists for what we've been through as as so-called black people in this case, in this crazy country. But they're there for you. Use your elders to guide you. Yes, we heard about some of these elders, but Elder Zabag, Elder Torah, and Elder Sabal is not like that. Now, I can tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we hear some stories, but that's just like, why you go to work? Why would you go to work? You hear some managers doing certain things, supervisors, but you go to work, right? So again, you can call them. Nobody said meet them in a cave or meet them in an alleyway or meet them in a dark closet. Nobody said you had to do no what's that called? That couch thing, you know what I'm saying? So again, brothers and sisters, contact your elders and stuff like that from HOI or any elder that you follow. You just on here and you like following the brothers and stuff. You don't want to be part of a camp. That's fine. You don't have to be part of this camp. Follow those laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay. We're here to, do camaraderie. We're here to help out each other and stuff. Because sometimes you need that spiritual guidance. Okay. Some of y'all got kids, and some of us have grown-up kids, and we're grandfathers and grandmothers, and we can help out. So again, I love y'all, Israel. So what we're going to do is go ahead and face the east. And the east is where, the sun rises in the morning, for those of you who don't know. And we're going to face the east. And the brother's going to go ahead and bless us with the man, I'm kind of tired. I'm sorry. The Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. God.
Everybody face the east. Okay. Abanawa, Shabasamayim, Kodash, Haya, Samka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Isa, Barataza, Kao, Haya, Basamayim, Natan Lenawa, Lakam, Kayawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kawawaf Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawawaf Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Banasaya Wan, Abal, Awasayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwaf, Wa'ala, Wa'ataya Parath, Lawalamyam, Amen.
Man. God. Great job, Art.
God, all praise.
Oh, praises. All right. So we're going to do English, okay? Go to Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. All right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Khan.
Amen.
Hallelujah. So hopefully, you guys had a good class again, Hebrew Israelites and Christianites, at war. Hell yeah, we are. All right. So I just want to say, love you guys. Hopefully, most high willing, I'm here next week, or one of the other brothers here next week, to come up with another electrifying hot topic. Okay. I probably, me and Captain Ariel, I was talking about the Crusades. I don't know if I'm going to do that one next week. That's going to take a lot of research, because I have to break that down. That Crusade War was crazy, and there's so many different facets of it, and so many different people. We were fighting in it, but if you look at the Crusades, you just see a bunch of white people fighting. So again, we're going to figure out how to break that down. We will talk about because this is thing going around called a poly, and I think it's creeping into the Hebrew Israelites realm for some reason. Everybody keeps asking me about this poly. So we will talk about that one of these days, and about a man having multiple wives and stuff, and it's not the same as a poly. So if you out there, you're a Hebrew Israelite, and you're coming into the truth, no, we do not subscribe to poly. Okay, we do not subscribe to that. Polygyny, yes, but we don't describe the poly. All right, the slang word poly. What else? Keep up with the news. See what's going on with the Texas floods. All praises to that. We getting our lick back. You know what I'm saying? You go to Elder Zabak's channel, Zabak 12. He did a impromptu class on the floods and stuff like that. And then the sisters all Janira, Shyla. What is Elder Taraz? What's his podcast name again? I think she's still on here. All right, maybe she's not on here. All right. But look forward to the Elder Taraz, his podcast. And you know, we have our Thursday night class. We have our Shabbat class and everything on Saturday. So again, thank you guys for linking in and tuning in. And you know, look over the class. You guys have any questions, you know, next week, you know, hit me up and we can talk about it. And also, if there's something that you may want to be brought up or talked about, you know, you can put it in the chat while we're giving the class, and you know, I'll look at it and see certain suggestions and stuff. Because you know, certain times, you know, certain things brothers want to hear or a scripture being broke down. But again, that's Thursday night. This is iron sharpen iron. But if somehow you working on Thursdays, whatever, just let us know, okay? We're here. All right, so Shalom and you know, we got next and Death to America. Shalom.
Shalom.